Marlowe Furniture's Labor Day sale event is all over. Save 50% off beautiful Marlowe Furniture, plus take an extra 10% off.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over the new and improved staff management or talent trees that are available in Madden 24. Now, if you saw the deep dives, you know that they have sort of reworked it, and I'm here to explain them all and show you them all individually so you can see what is available to you and what you can potentially find on your head coach, offensive or defensive coordinator, and how the player personnel thing is all broken down. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the trees. Okay, so first and foremost, the head coach has 3 trees that you can pick from, and they're relatively the same as last year, but now they don't have a cap on if you can do offensive or defensive focus for your head coach, which I think is really nice. So this first tree, the staff modifications, and this is the same for all coaches. There is no difference between them. It's only on the offensive and defensive coordinators. You're going to have the staff modifications, which are all the discounts for either spending franchise points on new skills or resetting skill trees. This is also where your additional focus players are going to be, is way down here at the bottom, just like last time. They sort of just moved this one over to the front, and that's pretty much where it stayed. And now they have this for offensive and defensive development. And this one, you essentially just choose what you want to focus on your offense and defense. So for instance, on this left pane here, you're going to have XP gains for tight ends, receivers, and quarterbacks. So essentially your passing game. Do you want to have more XP generated towards your skill positions for pass catching and your quarterbacks as a whole? And then the other side is going to be more so for your run blocking. You have, since road grader here, obviously for your left and right guards, your left and right tackles, and then your halfbacks and fullbacks. The bottom still has the slow rating progression. Do you want to earn extra XP for your passing game or your running game? So take that into consideration with whatever team you're going to be playing with. Over to the defensive side, it's the same exact scenario, but on the flip side. This one I would call more so the left side for your off ball, your linebackers, your outside linebackers, depending on what kind of defense you play, and your free safeties. And then on the right side, you have your D tackles, your defensive ends, and your strong safety. So think about it more like your strong safeties are up in the box. So the right side is meant for more run stopping, boosting that up, and then your left side is more so for pass coverage, zone coverage, that kind of thing. Of course, both will help both sides of the ball, obviously, but just giving you a general consensus of, I think, what they were looking for breaking these things up. What do you want to focus on most? So each coordinator is going to have a guru, whether it's quarterback, running for halfback, receiver or offensive line. And this is where you're going to get the option to allow X factors. I'm not a fan of this, to be honest with you. I don't like that you have to buy. Granted, it's like one of the first ones you can buy, and it's relatively cheap, but you shouldn't have to buy or pay or whatever unlock the ability for your X factor to be an X factor. To me, that's a little weird. I guess, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just ran out of things to put in there and they needed an extra spot. I don't know, but to me it's a little weird. But regardless, whatever guru spot your offensive or defensive coordinator have, that's where the X factor unlock is going to be. And then below that, you're going to decide left or right if you want to have a mobile quarterback or a pocket quarterback and what you want to upgrade. So the left side, you're going to be able to upgrade your throw on the run for your quarterback, your throw under pressure, your break sack, and your speed. That's a big one right there, to be honest with you. If you have a scrambling quarterback, you can upgrade it by 2 speed. That's pretty substantial in my opinion. And then on the left side, it's just your accuracy. So short, medium, deep accuracy, and then boost throw power, another key one. So some tough decisions to make. Really tough decisions to make on your quarterback, in my opinion, because I would love to have more throw power and more speed, but depending on who you're going with, you might want a little mixture of both. So maybe you do the left side for most of them, but then you're like, you know what, I really need to throw power. The beauty is you don't have to pick one side all the way. Once you get down here, you have the option to choose either one again. So you can choose to have the whole left side like I have here, and then also throw power instead of speed. And now we move on to the halfback group. This one is a little bit different. I think this has more of a futuristic league in mind because this one does not have any deeper power. I really thought that this was going to be where they have power on one side and elusive on the other, but they don't. The left side is completely for receiving running backs, which is not a bad thing. It's sort of where the league is going. But you have release, short route running, catch in traffic, and catching for the halfbacks. And then on the right side is your stiff arm, your spin move, your juke move, and break tackle. So carrying one. Of your deep threats and pushing the ball down the field. So the left side has short route running, release,
Welcome to your
traffic,
franchise staff.
and
Here,
acceleration.
you
Right?
staff
Those
points
tight
can be
windows,
when you have
those
enough to
quick
see
movements
what
that
some
need to happen
talent
for your
trees make
receiver
you
to get
select a
open,
path to.
within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Every day and every night. I was right here. Get open, within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. And then on the right side, this is where you're going to go deep. You have your medium route, your deep route running, spectacular catch, and jumping for those obvious downfield throws. And then in the middle here is just your basic catching one. And on to our last guru, which is offensive line. And this one is as simple as you think it would be. One side is passing, the other is running. You have your pass block power for centers, pass block power for your guards, and then pass block finesse for your tackles, which I like how they noticed that they made that different, right? They can easily have made it all the same, but it's imperative that obviously your inside people have power for passing protection and your outside have finesse. So I like how they did that. And then down here they have boost pass block by 2. So this one we know doesn't really do anything when it comes to like the CPU style of play, unless they change something. It's always going to be your finesse and your power when it's the most important for your offensive line. So you have them up here. They have them split up perfectly for centers, your interior line, and the tackles. And then over on the right side is where you're going to obviously find your run blocking. Run block finesse for your tackles, run block power for your centers, run block power for your guards, and then run block as a whole for the offensive line. Again, these two down here really don't matter too much because it all is weighed on the finesse and power grades of your linemen. So if you're going to unlock stuff and you're like, do I need to get these? You can probably pass on them considering how many there are to unlock, I would probably pass on this myself if I was upgrading this talent tree. Now that we're done with the gurus, those are the 4 gurus for the offense. Every coordinator will always have a guru, and then they will have 2 other ones, similar to how you see on here. We're going to start and go right down the list of all of them. The first one being pocket passing. And one thing that I really like about this is this actually is not all about the quarterback. It's about the quarterback and the receiver. So you see the first here is pass blocking for tight ends, which you probably won't use a whole lot, but whatever, you have to deal with it. And then on the left side is about your quarterback. Short accuracy, break sack, medium accuracy, throw under pressure. On the right side, you have short route running, release, medium route running, and catching traffic. And this also goes for wide receivers and tight ends, not just wide receivers. And then at the bottom, you have loose catching for wide receivers and tight ends. So if you pair this with wide receiver guru, you could end up having +4 for all of your wide receivers on the team. Because remember, here on the receiver guru, I just went back and looked, you have +2 for catching on wide receivers and tight ends. So all of your receivers and tight ends could have +4 if you pair a receiver guru with pocket passing. Next on my list here is quick throws. Quick throws has nothing to do with quarterbacks. This actually has to do with either your halfbacks or your wide receivers. The first one, boosting stamina for halfbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. Once you get past that, you have to decide whether you want to do that for halfbacks and tight ends or receivers. So the left and right side are the exact same. It's just which one do you want to upgrade? You have awareness on the first one, short route running on the second, release on the third, and catching traffic on the fourth. And at the bottom, you have just catching again. You won't be able to get more than one of these, right? So you're not going to have quick throws, pocket passing, and like receiver guru. You won't be able to pair them all. They're going to have one of those throw ones, and I think they're going to have another option, which we'll get to later. So like the pocket passing and quick throws, that's one that's going to be on its own. So you aren't going to be able to get like +6 catching for receivers and tight ends, but you will be able to match them up well, you know, for the most part with either quick throws or pocket passing, depending on which one you want to use for upgrading your receivers if you decide to go that route with that tree. And then on to the next one, which is run pass option. That's something different. And it's not anything to do with the quarterback. Once again, this is stamina at the top for offensive line, and then it's going to be very different. So here on the left side, it's going to be pass blocking for halfbacks, short route running for wide receivers, throw on the run for quarterbacks, and pass block for offensive line. So it's sort of a mixed bag here. You get something for everybody on this tree, even if you're not running run pass option. And then on the right side,
finding a car that was so neat. What was easy? Choosing NJM for auto insurance. They tailored a policy to my specific needs. I can be a little particular.
With NJM, you get the coverage that's right for you and top-rated customer service.
it's run block power for wide receivers, acceleration for halfbacks. That is a good one. Carrying for quarterbacks and run blocking for offensive line. And then at the bottom here, it's awareness for quarterbacks. So some really good ones. I mean, I actually like this one, even though I'll never run a run pass option playbook. But you might want to take this one just because of the extra stuff you can get. Obviously, I don't really care about the run blocking of my receivers, but if I can get acceleration for a halfback and more awareness to my quarterback or something along those lines, I mean, that's something to consider. So just because you don't run pass option, don't count out this as a potential suit for your offensive coordinator because it's sort of a mixed bag. All right, and now it's on to secure the line. This one is one that I see this one on a lot. This one is going to pop up on probably quite a few coordinators, along with some of the running ones that we'll get to right after this. But secure the line is it tells you what it is. This one is going to be your first one is awareness, which is good. This is almost the old school way from last year, where the one side here is all power, so it's pass block power for guards and centers, so the entire interior of the line. Run block power for tackles, run block power for guards and centers, and pass block power. So you can get upgrades to all of the powers for all of your offensive linemen here. And then on this side, of course, it's the opposite. It's finesse for your guards and centers, your finesse for tackles, finesse for guards and centers, and finesse for tackles. So this one I'm not a big fan of. I think the one where the offensive line guru was much better suited to where they had it separated to tackles doing finesse and the interior doing power. But I can understand why they made this one the way it is. You can still decide to up it, however you see fit, or maybe you have a discrepancy on your offense and you want to try to up finesse even though you're a power because your finesse is so bad. Whatever the case is, you get to decide if you have secure the line. And then the bottom is just your basic strength. You can upgrade strength by 2 for your entire offensive line. And the next 2 on the list are actually right here on this talent tree, is the power running and outside running. So these are the 2 designed for more of just the running side of things. So we'll start with power running. That is your run block for tight ends at the top. Your first choice on the left side is awareness for halfbacks, stiff arm, strength. But there's the trucking that I was mentioning before that wasn't on the halfback guru. It's here on the power running one, which is another thing that you could pair. You can have power running and the halfback guru at the same time. So you can really make your team just a full-on run team, And then on the right side is run block for fullbacks, impact block for fullbacks, lead blocking for fullbacks, trucking for halfbacks and fullbacks. And then at the bottom here, it's boost break tackle for halfbacks and fullbacks. I'm a little surprised to see the fullback actually getting some love in the talent trees here. That's sort of cool to see. So if you decide you want to run an old school offense with a fullback, you'll actually have a reason to do so and something you can upgrade on that player, which you could not do before. You did not get these kind of upgrades with fullbacks ever. So that's nice to see. And then onto the outside running. And you guessed it, power running was all about the inside run and the ground and pound. Well, this one is about your zone running, your outside runs. The scat backs, if you will. Your top one is run block power for wide receivers. And then here on the left side, you'll have ball carrier vision for halfbacks, juke move for halfbacks, carrying, and spin move. And here on the right side, you have stamina, acceleration. There's another good one for acceleration. Change of direction, and agility. And at the bottom, speed. I mean, I like this outside running one. This is going to be a hard decision. Just looking at all these, and we still have a few to go, that have some really good options, and it's going to make for a challenge to choose. We have 2 left for the offense. It's vertical threats, and this one is more geared towards quarterbacks and receivers. The halfbacks are not included in this, obviously. Your very top one, pass blocking for tight ends again. The left side is going to be all quarterback awareness, deep accuracy, throw under pressure, and throw power. The left side is going to be for your receivers awareness, deep route, jumping, and spectacular catch. And here at the bottom is another catching for wide receivers and tight end. I can already see the wheels spinning in some of your minds with ways to get +4 speed and +4 catching for all of your halfbacks and receivers. So it's should be interesting to see how some of these builds play out. And the last option for offense is open field. We have 2 left for the offense, and that is vertical threats. And this one is more geared towards all about just. Now that right there really is like, well, first and foremost, your defensive line really is liking some of these things, you guys. Really am. And so that is it for the offense. And at the bottom is boost accelerate running for halfback. And here at the bottom, that have some really good options, and it's going to make for a challenge to choose. We have 2 left for the offense. You have stamina, acceleration. There's another good one for acceleration. Change of direction, and agility. And at the bottom,
Offensive coordinator, Madden 24, overclocked.